Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It depends on when you are seeing or you're watching this video. Hello, how are you? My name is Constance. I came with something that is a little bit delicate, but I know you might not like me after this video, but just listen to me till the end. Okay? Just listen to me. It's just an advice. If you don't like it, throw away the advice, but don't throw me away. I'm your friend. Okay? See, if you know you have a weakness for women, don't have female secretaries. Madam, if you know you have a weakness for fine guys, guys with biceps and triceps, 6 packs, 8 packs, 15 packs, don't have male PAs. Did you hear me? Men, if you have a weakness for women, don't have female secretary. It could cost you your life, not even, maybe forget about marriage or anything. It could cost you your life. It could cost the life of your wife, your spouse. It could cost you your job. It could cost you your business. It could cost you an opportunity that you will lose for life. It could also lead to suicide. It is a dangerous thing to embark on. When you know that you have this small weakness, let me call it small, but it is not a small weakness. If you know that when you are around the opposite sex, especially your spec, your your libido starts running haywire. Save yourself the trouble. You cannot see fire and go and put your hand inside and say, God will save you. No, now. If you like, be bishop. I'm talking to everybody. I just came up with this today because I encountered somebody today. And he was a little bit weird to me. He was queer. He was not socially, you know, he was not sociable enough. And the gathering was, for people who can socialize very well. But he was aloof. He was just on his own, and especially with women. So when we had the opportunity to interact, I was like, this is what I observed. Is there any problem? Is there anything that is informing that behavior? He said, Madam, it's a long story. I say, cut it short. He told me that he used to have an off. He still is an entrepreneur. He's a big dude. He has money. So he was like that. He used to have this secretary. One thing led to the other. They started going out. Unknown to him, this secretary has started nursing the feeling or the idea of him getting married to her without him even knowing. But he was not into that relationship for any such. He was just having a fling for him. But they got so intimate that the secretary took it to another level. So for like a year into the relationship, something happened. Normally he goes out on Fridays. Sometimes he will not come back till Sunday evening. He was living that kind of wayward life. So on this particular weekend, he was with the secretary. He didn't know that the secretary had already made plans with assassins to raid his house. While they were together, at about 2 a.m. or so, the wife's call started coming into his phone. So when he tried, he was surprised. It was very odd. Whenever he goes out like that, the wife does not call. No, he doesn't. She doesn't try calling him. So the thing rang the first time, stop, rang the second time. They thought that he wanted to pick the call. The lady removed the phone. So when the lady did not allow him to take the call, he he said okay, he just let it go. Fast back to his home now. At the time that call was coming, it was his 3 years old daughter that was dialing his number to tell him that mommy has been shot. Then the wife was still breathing. But then, because it was just his daughter and the wife at home, 3 years old girl. So when the gunshots came, neighbors were scared now. Before they started coming in, they had already played safe first by waiting for the people to leave their car when their car sped off. So they before they could come in. So when this thing happened, the woman was able to get his number and dial it before she passed out. So when it started ringing, the little girl, 3 years old, picked up the phone. That started calling. They held the phone to tell the father that mommy has been shot, that they shot the wife. He did not take the call. The phone rang and rang and rang. He did not take the call. You know, little children of nowadays, they can operate phone. When the thing rang, stop. She redialed it. You know, she's 3 years, but she can handle a phone very well. So like up to 5 times or so. That was before the neighbors came, because it shot her straight. One on her chest, I think on the forehead, about 3 places. By the time the neighbors came, took her to the hospital, she passed on. So but he tried to, brush it away and sleep. Something kept telling him that this call was about 1 or 2 hours later. He called. It was still that 3 year old. They now took the phone to the daughter to answer. He now called. The little girl now said, "Daddy, mommy has been shot. Mommy has been shot." On his side, he dropped the phone and passed out. So the next day, he rushed home, drove down, came back. By the time he got to the hospital, the wife had passed on. Ah, he kept telling everyone that he's the one that killed the wife. He went to the police to report that they should jail him. His conscience. He didn't know how to explain to the little girl what happened. So to summarize the whole story, after that incident, see, at the end of the day, he did not, because he didn't see that second. The lady called him off and he said that if he manages to see her, that she's a dead meat. In fact, the lady relocated because that man tried to kill her by himself. This is the person you want to kill the wife and get married to. See, the whole thing now backfire. The man, in fact, he said that it's been years. He doesn't want to have anything to do with any woman. The whole thing keeps coming back. How the daughter told him mommy had, everything keeps rolling back. So the trauma, he has, as at when I met him, he has gone through that trauma for close to 7 years. He's been with that trauma. I was even saying 1 year. No, he's been with that trauma for a very long time. I think that was what he said. So, you see why I said it's my candid advice. Don't have female secretaries if you know you cannot control your libido. Madam, don't have a male PA if you know that biceps, triceps trigger feelings that are not necessary for somebody that is not your husband. I hope this meets you well. Thank you for listening.